lot of times as part of IMP, we're very lucky in that we get to meet a lot of very committed, passionate people. And a really close friend of mine, Barbara, so I don't know how many of you have met Barbara. Barbara is someone who is in love with Baltimore, in love with kids, and in love with all of you guys in IMP. She was actually here last night until 10:30 at night helping revise our mission statement. That's how committed she is, and she's 77 years old. And Barbara very kindly had introduced us to Dontae, and I think the fantastic thing is you're going to get such a treat today, not just to hear the Winslow Dynasty and hear their passion for music, but also their passion for Baltimore and for the youth in Baltimore. And so I think they're playing Saturday night.
Yes.
We're fortunate enough to have our own special concert here tonight, so I think they're going to tell you a lot more about themselves and all the different things they've done. But Winslow Dynasty. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. My name is Dontae Winslow, the king of the Winslow Dynasties. This is my queen, Shic Winslow. We are producers, songwriters, arrangers. We live in LA. We're from Baltimore. Raised in Baltimore Public City Schools. And we have a new project that's called the Winslow Dynasty Life Album. We're going around the country promoting and touring this project. I'm also a trumpet player who performs with Jill Scott, Grammy Award-winning singer and actress. And so while I perform with her, we also promote our own project. And we love to give back. We love to perform at schools, talk to kids, and mentor young people.
Yeah, you said a little bit about what we do. We produce other artists like Jay-Z, Kanye West, Mary, Kelly Price. Dontae's being very modest. He's an incredible film composer. This year, he just did a film with Robert Townsend. So that's In the Hive is what it's called. So that should be out next year. So that's exciting. Those are some of the things that we're doing to try to bring resources back to Baltimore because we really, really love Baltimore. I grew up in West Baltimore in Emerson Village. Dontae grew up on North Avenue. And we love our neighborhoods. And so we're excited that we can go out and come back and bring back resources and talent, to encourage other young people and encourage everybody that there's more outside of Baltimore and there's also some great things inside of Baltimore that you can take advantage of. So we're going to share some music, share some of our life experiences with you today, and hopefully you'll gain something from it and it'll encourage you to push forward because we used to live here. We used to live in Baltimore, and we sat in the seats where you're sitting now. And so we just want to encourage you today to do a little more for others and to do better for yourselves. And we're Winslow Dynasty. Hope you enjoy. If you have any questions at the end, we're going to talk. And no question is too crazy, too weird. We promise we'll have you some crazy answers. If you give us crazy questions, we'll have you crazy answers.
Yes, let's sit in this family for a few moments.
This is going to be a family right now.
This first song, we'll play a few songs and we'll talk in between. This first selection is from our CD. It's called Mama. It's a song that I wrote about my mother. That I give you more information about my life. This is pretty autobiographical, but it's about me coming to terms and forgiving my mother for all of the tough times we had. And this is to celebrate all women who struggle with single mothers in the city. This is called Mama. Thank you, Darren. It's Darren Saunders on keyboard. I made it, raised up in Baltimore City. I came through the wire, the roads that grew in the concrete. I was the kid that was raped at 3, still grew up to be everything I wanted to be. From playing jazz in Switzerland to getting advanced degrees. 2006, penning songs with Jay-Z. All I ever wanted was to buy you a house. We on North Avenue, starving, no food in the mouth. Cocaine up on the table every day after school. I play my trumpet in my room, try to hide from you. Cause you bending over looking like you strung from drugs. And I'm crying to my God that can save the thugs. Never knew how much you impacted my life, but you did. You living with AIDS, I never seen you shed tears. The toughest woman I know, she living up in heaven now. But you got a blessed child for the love that you gave me.
For the love that you gave me, Mama, you saved me. You're the greatest. Everybody say, Mama, we love you. We love you.
want to give you bling bling, but I can't afford it. I believe I can rise and you do support it. You a wonderful wife, a soulmate from God. It was prophesied that we would be large. As long as I tithe, as long as I believe in Jesus, He would never leave us. We used to be wondering how could we make the rent. We moved to California and we pitched a tent, never knowing where the next meal would come from. Then we had a baby and had the faith just felt dumb. But your love remained unconditional, never changing like God is unequivocal. And baby, I just want to congratulate you. You the #1 boo. It's for the love that you gave me.
For the love that you gave me, Mama, you saved me. You're the greatest. Everybody say mama, I love you, I love you. Hey, you was only 13 when you had me. Father's mother said I'm not his and denied me, but your love remained and you kept me. Taught me to sing 3-part harmony. You told me to speak up clearly, even when I didn't want you near me. It's been a long road, and I realized you had my back when I was victimized. All those people looking down on you, they didn't know a queen came through you. Not only that, a king came too. Look at my brother, he's a scholar too. I raise you high because you are. When I look in your eyes, I see a star. I told you I would make you proud. Mom, you got a blessed child
For the love that you gave me.
Mama, you say you're the greatest. Everybody say mama, we love you.
For my mother, y'all, I hope you can hear me in heaven. This trumpet, which I carry through the streets of Baltimore, and God has allowed me to survive gunshots, to survive being murdered, to survive drugs, to survive every dark thing I've ever seen. May I make you proud right now. chest and put this down for a minute. So before we do the next song, you want to talk a little bit?
No, we can do the next one.
Want to do the next one? Okay. Let's do Raise.
As you all will hear in our lyrics, most of our lyrics is about, everything is about life and real situations that have happened to us, happened to Dontae, happened to me, happened to some of our family members, and that's all on purpose because we feel like now nobody's really talking about issues that we all go through. You know, and I feel like we feel like music should really encourage you. It should make you happy. It should tell stories, whatever you're feeling, to be creative, just to get it out. And that's what music is for us. And so you're going to hear a lot of stories in our music, and these are all real stories that have happened to us, happened with our families. And, you know, so at the end of this, if you all have any questions for us, we'll be able to answer.
Exactly. And some people always think it's weird for me to rap and play the trumpet. I've been doing both since I was like 10 years old, and it was like in the early 90s. I used to do it in clubs, and people say, "Man, that's so weird, rapping and trumpet." Some people love jazz and they don't like rap or hip hop, and some people love hip hop and they don't like the jazz or the improvisation element. And I've always been one to kind of bridge generational gaps. I'm like an old school guy in a young body. I've loved rap since the days of Run DMC and Fat Boys and LL Cool J and some of the newer rappers today. And then I got hooked on jazz and classical music in middle school and joined the band. And so when I fell in love with that, I just can't find myself being divided from Mahler, Stravinsky, listen to Coltrane, Miles Davis. I just love like every style of music. So I try to incorporate that into my work. And I think people should be more open-minded because at the end of the day, like my wife said, it's just the message that's important, not the medium through which it's presented. So this is called Raised, as in Raised in the City. A little bit faster, Steve.
Y'all can snap and help us out since we don't have drums too. Y'all gonna be a part of the band.
I was raised in the city. Coming up wasn't easy. Making it out the hood, my people need me. We ain't never had nothing. Wanna be something. Spin that dough and stay broke. I was raised in the city. Coming up it wasn't easy. Making it out the hood, my people need me. We ain't never had nothing. Wanna be something. Spin that dough and stay broke.
I was raised in the city, raised in the city, yeah. He said, I'll be down to talk to you. I turned on the TV and he in the news. 3rd or 4th grade, can't go to school. What if the kids in my class recognize you? What's a little girl supposed to do? All the boys on the block say I look just like you. Can't seem to escape your image. I look in the mirror and you always in it. No encouraging words, just pain. The day you left, something in me changed. A warrior princess, that's what I became. Life was never the same. Daddy, you to blame. You'll always know where I live. A trail of blood, I had the hardest of your tears. No crime scene chalk on the sidewalk. My heart laying lifeless in the dark. Confused and sad and no one here. But Vash gave me Jesus and I'm still here. I ain't got nothing to die for. Baby, you ain't fit to live. Gotta try more. Can't let a young girl endure the pain. I've been abused and they acting the same. There's a light at the end of the road. I got to reach back and grab a hold, yo. Little girl, your tears look like mine, but God's gonna heal it with a love and time. And y'all judging, what if you was in our shoes? Came up the rough way, still paying my dues.
I was raised in the city. Coming up it wasn't easy. Making it out the hood, my people need me.
We ain't never
had nothing. Wanna be something. Spin that dough and stay broke. I was raised in the city. Raised in the city, from the ghetto to Beverly Hills. So many bills, so many miles to feed. Can I live? Wanna have a little bit of fun before I'm dead. I wanna give away my money before I get weird and get drunk, all fame and fortune. Head gets so big, feeling too important. Forgot about the ghetto crack babies and orphans. Who am I to turn my back on the poor? They half the reason I'm here, plus they need me more. I remember I was just about to get evicted. No food, I'm overdrawn, bank is empty. Selling all my stuff so my baby can eat. Praying wasn't moving the clouds, I felt defeat. How do I look my wife in the face and say, we ain't got it this month, God making the way. I'm still trying to do the right thing. I'm still trying not to be a statistic to the right wing. Don't know why it's so hard. Don't know why I can't see a sign from God. I'm waiting. I'm never giving up though, just give me grace. Let me shine, but keep me humble. Cause this environment that messed me up, I get a little bit spending, cause it's never enough. A grown man on welfare, how that feel? I'm standing in the soup kitchen line, keeping it real. They downsized at work, so I ain't have no job. I got degrees, still circumstances hard, and y'all judging. What if you was in my shoes? Came up the rough way, still paying my dues. I was raised in the city, coming up wasn't easy. Making it out the hood, my people need me. We ain't never had nothing, wanna be something. Spin that dope and stay broke. I was raised in the city, wasn't easy.
Making it out the hood, my people need me. We never had nothing, wanna be something. Spin that dope and stay broke. I was raised in the city ever since I was a little bitty kid, drinking liquor out my mama. Ooh, we never had nothing, wanna be something. Spin that dope and stay broke. I was raised in the city ever since I was an itty bitty kitty, drinking liquor out my mama. Oh, we never had nothing, wanna be something. Spin that dope and stay broke. I was raised in the city, coming up it wasn't easy. Making it out the hood, my people need me. We never had nothing, wanna be something. Spin that dope and stay. I was raised in the city, coming up it wasn't easy. Making it out the hood, my people need me. We never had nothing, wanna be something, but we spent that dope and stayed broke.
Before we do our last section, want to take any questions? Anybody curious about what we do, who we are, what you heard? This is living room. This is like our home together. This is family.
Your flow's better than Kanye. How come he's famous and you're not? That's really good.
Thank you so much. That's a great compliment.
Wow.
I appreciate it. I'll attribute that to divine order. That's probably the correct answer. Everybody has their time and their season. You know, his season was 5 or so years before mine. And but I've been doing this a very long time. You know what I mean? And I just think God has his own way of working out things so that when the time is right, you know, when it's our time to shine, we'll shine. But thank you so
Really
much
good.
for that compliment. Thank you. Any other questions, y'all?
Can you tell us a little bit more about, like, what does it mean to be producing and arranging? You know, I mean, we can connect because we know some of these big names that you've worked with. I mean, what does that actually mean?
Arranging is kind of like putting things together. If like the stuff I've done for Kanye or Mary, for example, if I do what's called a horn arrangement, it's mean that I write down the musical notes for other horn players to play. I say, you know, I want you to play at the bridge of a song, the intro of a song, and certain sections of the song. And I write that down and they all read it, we record it. It comes out, you listen to it, you say, oh, I like that part. It goes, and then the fact that it doesn't happen throughout the whole song is an arrangement. And that's what we do for other artists. Like an artist come in and say, hey, you know, I have this song's complete, I did lyrics, I did melody, it's a band, but I want to add horns. Can you do an arrangement? Can you add to that? Producing is slightly different. Producing is you're in control of the entire project. You're like the executive, so to speak. So you're responsible for hiring the keyboard player, the bass player, the drummer, the singer, and you make sure it all fits together and sounds good. At the end of the day, if the song doesn't sound right, doesn't make it to it's the producer's fault. And if it's a hit, then you're rich and famous. You say, man, he produced blank. You know, you're the reason why it did so well, so to speak. Modern day young people who like make music on laptops, that was the old school way of production.
Like Quincy Jones.
Yeah,
That Quincy Jones set Michael Jackson up. He got the drummer. He got the bass player. He got this. Now,
people make music on laptops.
you make it yourself.
Right.
Like you don't necessarily have to hire other musicians, but you can.
Right.
But
You do what they would have done in the studio, and you push play, and it's a full ensemble, but it was made with a Mac. And it's like, oh, I produced this track. So it's kind of two ways of thinking. Of course, the old school gets more credit and credibility, and the new school gets a lot of money for less work. So, but that's essentially that's what production is and arranging. And my wife also, she is a producer and she arranges vocals. So you can explain to them about arranging vocals in the studio.
Okay.
It's
if
an
I'm
Apple
working with the other artists
product.
and I'm arranging for them, I tell them what to sing. If they sing something they think is amazing, I tell them it's not amazing, and let's do this. So I may give them ideas on what to sing. And it's funny because when you're a singer, you really think you have it. Well, I'm a singer, so it was hard for me to listen to Dontae, which is why this is our 12th year being married and our first project together. So it's hard to listen. And so it took me 12 years, so you know, you can figure that out from there. And so what I'll do to an artist is just give them runs, give them things to sing, give them harmonies, build the background stuff that makes it sound fresh and clean. You know, tell them if they're going sharp, tell them if they're going flat. I'll say redo this. It's like you're in charge, but you're just not in charge of the track. You're only in charge of the singers. And sometimes I'll build the background vocals myself because it's just much easier instead of producing it, you know, for others. And the funny thing about the music business is there are so many jobs that I don't think people really understand. I'm talking about people are making millions of dollars off of things that we didn't really know existed when we were in Baltimore.
Without doubt.
You have marketing, you have a manager, you have an agent, you have promoters, and the promoters make gobs of money. You know what I mean? And the promoters are bringing artists to different towns. There's a different promoter in every town. You know, and so young people can do it. If you all put your money together and want to bring an artist to town, all you have to do is call their manager. And it's on the internet. You call them and you really set it up, and it just happens, and they do appear. And you pay them, and it's done, and you get your money. Now music has become so much easier to do yourself because you can do it online. You can put your own songs on iTunes, like right now. If we all made a song in this room right now, we could make $20 tomorrow. If 20 people say, call your aunt, tell her download it, call this person download it, PayPal, it goes right into your account. That is your cash. So it's no longer, no longer can the record labels really steal your money. I mean, they can if you're signed to them, but now it's more entrepreneurial. You can do things on your own. You don't have to wait. If you want to be creative tonight, I can tell you how to make money tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's much more easier to get into the business, I think, than it was back then. Because you have a computer, one computer, and can do everything.
The problem is it's so diluted with everybody wanting to be an artist. Everybody in this room wants to be a star. So while I've gone to school to be a doctor or lawyer, you know, someone like you can't just come in the room and operate next to me. You know, you're like, get out of here. Where's your degree? But in music, you know, this guy on the street can compete with me who studied for years and we're in the same league, and maybe he's more popular. Maybe he has like red hair and he like cuts himself every day, so he's got 1,000 million hits on YouTube, selling more records than me, and I'm the trained guy and I'm left out. So that's what's kind of lopsided about music. You know, it's freedom, but it's also painful to see things with less talent get more accolades in the music business.
But I think things are changing because the more you can get your own story out, the more you can be creative, talk about your life, talk about things you're going through in the day. It doesn't have to be money all day long and bling bling and purses and things like that all day long. Because we see people on television, on TMZ, everybody's blinged out, and then when we live in Los Angeles, we're walking down the street and we see Denzel or whoever, they don't have any of that on. I mean, they're just really living, you know, so it's like sending a false sense.
Sure, definitely.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of the actors and people that you see on television, they work super hard to get their craft together. So during the day, they're going to classes still. They still work with coaches. They still work with people. They're still going to college. Tyra Banks is in college now for business.
They dress down.
You know, they're dressing down. It's not about the bling bling. And a lot of them give back on time, and there's no when there's no cameras around. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of just like everyday living and trying to help that we don't get to see on ET.